And blessed to be part of your day. Welcome back. Governor Otter is here once again for his final segment. Governor Otter, we've got a lot to talk about, but, Governor, I have learned so much in my 9.5 years here about being a person. I see you at church. I see you around. And I wanted to thank you for teaching me a lot. I still have a lot to learn, but thank you, sir.
God bless your heart. Thank you.
We'll see you at the church, though, right?
Pardon me?
We'll see you at Holy Apostles.
At 9 o'clock.
Yeah, well, I'm Sunday night at 6, but I digress, Governor. You're here to talk about some big issues, Props 1 and 2, right, sir. Your thoughts?
Well, I think both of them, both props are very important. Obviously, Prop 1, which would support horse racing in Idaho by the use of the historical horse racing machines. And, we've seen a dramatic drop in the activity. And horse racing in Idaho is a tradition. Ranches were won and lost. Fortunes were made and lost. Right. But most important, it is a culture and it is a tradition. I don't know if it's still the fact today, Kevin, but Idaho at one time when I was working on it had the largest per capita ownership of horses in the United States. So the amount of horses we had for our population exceeded any other state, including Kentucky.
Wow.
But remember, these horses are used in Idaho. They're used for everything. I tell the story of old Snuff, one of my favorite roping horses. I roped off of him for 18 years, and he was a horse that I bought off the racetrack because he just couldn't quite he was fast, but he just wasn't as fast as those other horses. Put a little meat on him and he could turn a steer.
Right.
And so, the folks that say, well, there's only so many race horses in Idaho, there's a lot of horses that are doing things, whether it's cutting, snaffle bit, futurities, all of those things at one time or another. Many times those horses were bred and raised for racing. But it also means an awful lot to our economy. When we shut down LaBois, or I should say but when LaBois was shut down, we lost over 500 jobs. And even in today's climate, those jobs are important because the training is relatively simple and quick, and so it doesn't they're all very important jobs, but there's, besides the people that are actually working in the grandstands, there's the trainers, there's the jockeys, there's all of those folks on the back lot, we used to call it, that are involved and that are employees of the racetrack itself. And so I'm grateful to the people that have stepped forward. We talk about Jack Simplot and Joe Albertson and folks like that, but Linda Yonke, Ron Yonke's widow.
Dave Petzo talks about it all the time.
Listen, they've been just tremendous, and Harry Bettis and Rob Rebholz, all those folks that have stepped forward and said, this is too important. We're willing to put our money because this is too important, not only for us today, but it's important that we maintain this tradition and this culture. We spend a lot of time in many, many areas saying, we need to save this for the next generation. Well, this is one of those things that I think that is important for us to continue with.
What about Prop 2, sir? Please take a breath here. I'll remind everybody you're listening to 107.5 FM, 580 AM. We're live at the Ambrose School, promoting our school, securing our future. Thanks to CapEd Credit Union, Team Mazda, Subaru, Pacific Office Automation, now in Boise, Pacific Office Automation. Problem solved, pacificoffice.com. Governor Otter with us. Once again, Prop 2, sir.
Well, Prop 2, I think, is a result of the people of Idaho exercising their rights under the First Amendment to the Constitution. There's 5 freedoms in the First Amendment.
Right.
And, it begins with what? Religion. That's the very first freedom that the founders put in that First Amendment. So it's religion, speech, press, assembly, as we're doing right here, and then petition for redress. And so the petitions that the folks went out and got was an answer to, frankly, maybe it's my fault, 6 years of failure in the legislature of our ability to come up with an Idaho solution to give those folks that have hit a speed bump in life, to give them some relief. Now, we don't want to make a mountain out of it, but they hit an economic speed bump in life and they can't afford insurance. What happens when that happens? It comes back on the property owner, because we have an obligation to take care of those that are less fortunate. We don't want to make a lifestyle out of it, but if they've got a health problem, and what I think I tried to do was to set up a system that was all Idaho. There wouldn't have been any federal monies involved in it for the last 6 years. That would have given people a medical home. So that doctor knows what their father, their grandfather, their mother, their grandmother, what kind of infirmity, what kind of illness that they may have had, that could then express itself in generations later on. So, because it's so much easier, it's so much less expensive to keep people healthy than it is to get them healthy. So so where I am now, Kevin, this is the last game in town. This is the last option. And so that's why I've decided to support it.
Governor, final question. We so appreciate you. How important is God in your life? You know, this is secular radio, but we love talking about God and the Lord. Your thoughts on people that are looking for something. You have worked very hard. You're a success story yourself, but God is very important in your life, sir.
Always has been. There's not a lot of people probably know this, but my first 3 semesters after high school was at St. Martin's Abbey in Olympia, Washington, a Benedictine.
Wow.
And I was studying to be a Benedictine. And when they told me I couldn't be Pope, I said, I'm out of here.
Right.
No, life changes. And then I was part of the, 96% washout. But I've always, I was raised Catholic. I still am, and I hesitate to say practicing Catholic, but
right.
As you well know, we see each other at Holy Apostles.
Sometimes you poke me in the belly, by the way. That's okay.
all the time. But it's always been important, and quite frankly, the church you belong to is your business, but belong to one. Because, God is not only important in each of our individual lives, but I believe God is important to all of us. When I look at this great republic that we have and the folks that signed those initial documents, the blueprints of freedom, I have to say to myself, those people were chosen. That wasn't by accident that those folks, the wisdom and the tenaciousness of making sure that they were, because remember, most of those people came over here so that they could practice the religion of their choice. They didn't want a government endowed religion like they had in many parts in Europe and especially in England. And so they came over here so that they could worship the one God, but it would be through the conduit of their choice, through the church of their choice, through the threshold of their choice. And these people that keep talking about Jefferson and the curtain between church and state, what they meant was to keep government out of God, not to keep God out of government.
Now, I'm a Hamilton man. You a Jefferson guy or a Hamilton guy?
Oh, no, I'm a Jefferson guy.
I knew it.
I am not a Hamilton guy. Except on the money I spend.
Yeah. Governor, God bless you and your family.
Thank you.
Really appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
Now, don't be looking into coming into talk radio with your next career. I'll be out. I'll be
well,
out.
You never know what my next career may be. Maybe Pesco and I'll have a few things to talk about.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you. God bless you.
God bless you.
Thanks.
KIDO Talk Radio. And welcome back, KIDO Talk Radio from the Ambrose School. Kevin Miller, do want to thank Governor Otter. Appreciate Governor. Take care, sir. Safe travels. Thank you very much. We are here at the Ambrose School. Our great friend Todd Erickson, not to be confused with Todd Christensen, who has branded me so much. I always get that mixed up, from CapEd Credit Union. Todd, good to have you with us.
Thank you, Kevin. It's great to be here with you this morning.
Well, we couldn't do it without CapEd, and I'm going to ask Davies to grab the microphone here. Davies Owens wanted to thank CapEd for all the great things that y'all do, especially the teacher grants.
Yeah, we are so appreciative. You know, I don't know who came up. Maybe you get full credit for this, but the idea of giving these grants to teachers is such a wonderful gift back to. I will tell you, there's nothing more exciting than the days that you guys walk in here with a giant CapEd check, and our teacher who has no idea this thing's coming. They've applied for it, they've hoped for it, but blessing the school in such a tangible way is a great idea.
Well, thank you very much. It's been so fun to see the enthusiasm of the teachers over the years in the schools, and you know, the teachers have such incredible projects that they come up with, ways to improve instruction and teaching in the classroom, and you know, we just sit back and the projects flow in, and we look at them, and we're just always amazed, and it's really fun. So we're pleased to do this. It's we've been doing it for 9 years, and every year it gets a little better.
Well, it's a great idea. It's coming up with just our teachers are constantly thinking, the word CapEd is spoken often in our hallways, because we're always like, what can we think of next to create a grant for CapEd? So a lot of great ideas. And if I walked you around, many classrooms that have items that were purchased thanks to that grant. So
Well, hopefully you can show them Feed the Need.
I'm going to show the governor. It's a pretty amazing thing going on today. So working on packaging up food to feed hungry folks throughout
90,000
the
families.
90,000.
Wow, for the
Yeah,
Boise
awesome.
Rescue Mission.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It's a great operation. So it's a wonderful idea to put these packages. I'm here right on the table, but they turn around and make food for 10,000 being made today.
Davies, thank you very much. Appreciate you. We'll talk to you in about 20 minutes. Absolutely. We're also joined by Toby King, Senior Vice President of Information Technology and a father of an Ambrose student. Toby, thank you for joining us, and thanks for having us here.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
What does the Ambrose School mean to you as a father of a student here?
So my wife and I have 3 students here. She also is a teacher. She's very passionate about teaching, and I actually get to hear firsthand from her stories with her colleagues on the types of wonderful endeavors that are carried out here, the sort of devotion and passion that the teachers have for the school, for the students. And I've gotten to see the quality output in my own children. The types of things that they're learning, I only envy. I wish I had the same opportunity at the same ages. And to see my 8-year-old son come home and speak Latin to me, and to have my younger daughter come home and quote Shakespeare, it's very gratifying. And
is it very humbling?
It is humbling. I definitely feel, have a little inferiority complex compared to my own children. But I do have to say that, a parent only wants better for his or her own children. And I am definitely sitting in the catbird seat with respect to that.
It is amazing. Todd Erickson, it's been a while. I have to ask you, when we started this program, it would be every week or every time we saw you, we would talk about the state of the Treasure Valley economy. It's been an amazing run from the recession to where we are today. What are you seeing at CapEd with the building, with the businesses? What's going on in our economy, sir?
Well, I keep saying the same thing every time we talk, but it's just, like you say, it's an amazing time for this community, for the economic growth and the growth of the state. There's just so many things that are fueling this. We're seeing strength in all sectors, real estate, commercial lending, autos, and RVs, Visa. Our loans have just been incredibly robust over the past 5 to 6 years, and so it's just amazing. This valley keeps growing. We see I think there's about almost a 3% growth in this valley each year, new people moving in, and that's certainly part of it. But the construction industry has been incredible, residential and commercial. That's providing a lot of jobs, and our as a result, very low unemployment from compared to nationally here in the valley, and we're we're definitely part of it. Cap Ed, we're trying to, serve our members. We're growing as a credit union and bringing in new members who want to support, educational type endeavors like this and teacher grants and early childhood literacy. And so we're inviting the entire community and all those new people that come in to join Cap Ed, join with us as we support education.
Well, and for people moving in, lots of people moving into the Treasure Valley, they may not know Cap Ed from another financial institution. We've got the dentist's office, we've got the gyms, we've got the churches, and we've got the lending institutions. Obviously, Cap Ed cares, the teacher grants, Camp Cash Ed, which I love, Camp Cash Ed. You'll correct me if I'm wrong, Todd Erickson, but also the school grants, promote our schools, secure our future. The Cap Ed difference, sir.
Yeah, it is, and we make the statement, make your money matter. It's more than banking; it's making a difference. And so, if you want to join an institution that does try to make a difference in the community through all the things that you talked about, including financial education, we the Camp Cash Ed is part of that, but financial education for adults. We really think it's important that we be a good community partner and that we enrich the community that we live in.
Indeed. Toby, your thoughts just on the growth in the area and the growth here at Ambrose. It continues to grow.
Yeah, so Carrie and I moved to Idaho from Southern California 13 years ago. It was one of the best decisions we've ever made. It's really gratifying to see the growth in the valley and especially the growth here at the Ambrose School. There's a great community of families here, and each year that family grows. And just all of the cooperation, the participation from the parents, with the faculty, with the staff, it's just a wonderful thing that's happening here at this school.
Let's talk about the wonderful things at Cap Ed. By the way, Liberty Linda, I know you're still holding. Thank you, dear. We're going to get to you in a second. You've been there with us for like an hour and a half, so God bless you. Thank you. Let's talk a little bit about the high-yield checking at I was going to say Camp Ed, but Cap Ed Credit Union. You've branded me continually, sir.
Yeah, high-yield checking, that's been around for about almost 10 years now. We've got over 40,000 accounts out there now, and it's an account that pays a high yield, just like the name says, 2.5% on balances up to $10,000, and when you qualify. Also, it refunds ATM fees up to $25 a month. So a member who qualifies really can get their money anywhere at a bank or a credit union or anywhere in the continental United States, and we'll refund the ATM fee that you'll probably incur if it's a non-Cap Ed ATM. And so it's really been a popular one. It's been our most popular checking account that we've had. We have a Get 100, Give 100 promotion been going on that's raised over $25,000 for schools. So a person can come in, and if they get a high-yield checking account, we'll give them $100, and then they get to choose where they want to give another $100, totally funded by Cap Ed, and we give them a list of schools, different areas of the school that they want to participate in, and it's been a very popular thing for us.
Todd, anything else that you'd like to share with us today, sir? We appreciate your patience. We had the singing here at the Ambrose School. We had the governor, so.
Hey, I almost got preempted by the governor, and I would understand that, but thanks for getting us in, and thanks for doing this. Appreciate you going out to schools and letting us partner with you on this.
Toby, final thought as a parent, as a member of Cap Ed, your thoughts here on the Ambrose School? Can you share some Latin with us, maybe? Well, I have to get your kids to do that.
Very little, and I'm afraid I would butcher it. But I just want to say thank you to Davies for his direction at the Ambrose School. Thank you to all the teachers here, especially to my own wife. I'm biased. But I want to just express how amazing this curriculum is here. To see it in action, to hear about it theoretically, and to see it in action is something that is fulfilling the promise that the school makes to its students.
Thank you, Toby. Thank you. Thank you, Todd. Appreciate you. Traffic and weather together, KIDO Talk Radio.
Eric Gabbert.
Liberty, Linda, I'm so sorry. Good morning. Thanks for your patience. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Good morning. Well, I feel like part of the show this morning. But I actually had a question for Governor Otter. I always heard that he was taught the Constitution by the great Leon Skousen. So I always wondered if that was true or not. Anyway, but I guess he's gone now.
He was here, the singing and everything else.
I know, it was wonderful. Governor Otter, wow, how neat. And he only has a few days left being governor, So, anyway, what I was thinking about doing is I was going to make a recording and about President Trump, that he's the greatest president since George Washington, and then all I have to do is push a button every morning to play it on your show when I call in, and it'll be the Kevin Miller automated show.
Well, don't give the powers that be any idea.
Anyway, because I always say that. But anyway, your show is the greatest, and it was wonderful hearing Governor Otter and all of the things he does. I didn't know he went to your church.
Oh, yeah, I see Governor Otter, and it's a real-life story. One time he came up to me and gave me a poke in the belly. Like I was the Pillsbury Doughboy. Imagine that. Here you have a 50-year-old man being the Pillsbury Doughboy. Well, we all have our dreams in life.
Yeah. Well, anyway, about you and Tom Munns this morning.
Wait a minute. No. That's where you're going to go. Oh, no, Kevin. You're not the Pillsbury Doughboy, but you just agreed with me.
We all love you, and it's wonderful that Governor Otter feels that, he can do those things to you at the church, and because, you're just one of us. You're just, how can I put it? That's why everybody loves you so much.
Well, we're just trying to earn your trust every day, Liberty Linda.
Well, you've got mine, you know that. In regards to cell phones, you and Tom Munns, yeah, when I go to a stoplight and I look around, every single person around me will have their heads down, looking into their cell phones. It's very dangerous. You and I know that we don't think it's a good thing to do. We just wish there was more common sense out there.
I agree.
Because the light will turn green, and they're still sitting there on their cell phones. But that's very important. And Kevin, I get really upset after hearing Oprah Winfrey's talk yesterday that the American people, and I don't even know if I should say this on the radio, but the black people blame the American people and our forefathers for bringing them here to this country and making them slaves. It did not happen that way. It happened when Albert Pike, Sir Francis Bacon, in cahoots with the King of England, brought them here to destroy our nation, anyway, from within. So, anyway, I don't know if anybody's ever heard that before, but that's actually how they were brought here to America. And most of the good people here needed help on their farms or plantations, and they just hired them. And a lot of the people I've talked to that have come from those people have said that they just treated them like family. And so I'm sure there were some that didn't treat them good, but I'm tired of the blame being put on our founding fathers and the people here in the United States. So those are the three that went into cahoots and actually brought them over here and shipped. And so anyway, I think that's an important thing for the American people to know.
Well, Liberty Linda, thank you for your patience. We appreciate you.
It was wonderful, Kevin. Always wonderful listening to your show every morning. You're the best.
Well, we'll try to live up to that. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Coming up next, your phone calls, more from the Ambrose School. 580-5436, 580-KIDO. You're listening to Kevin Miller on 107.5 FM, 580 AM. Let's see, have we done traffic yet, Ray? Okay. Good morning, Maggie.
Good morning, Kevin.
And let's go to Dan. Well, before we get to Dan, sorry, Dan and Meridian, hang on. We're going to go to our girl, Michelle Polino, Fox News Radio. She's always causing trouble. She's in California. You know what they say about those California people that we're here in Idaho. But, oh, wait a minute. She can hear me now? Oh, hey, Michelle. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah.
Great to have you with us. First and foremost, two big things. Before we get to Kanye backing out of the politics and Dan and Meridian, what'd you make of the Oprah moment yesterday?
I listen, Oprah is one of those media personalities, media moguls that really knows how to hold an audience, how to get a crowd going, how to light up a room, what to say, when to say it. She's pretty much pitch perfect as soon as she opens her mouth. So I'm like more power to her. It was interesting to me that she chose her and not Andrew Gillum, who seems to really be pulling ahead. But Hollywood, they always come out for the Democrats. They always come out for the liberals, but it does nothing against this guy. It does nothing. We're seeing that with Beto O'Rourke in Texas, right? We're seeing it clear as day. Not sure what's going on in Florida, but this town is all about getting out the vote right now. They want the young people to vote because they know the young people swing Democrat. So that's what's happening. They're using their old playbook, right? We've seen this playbook before. It didn't work in the last election. So we'll see what happens here.
Yeah, it was interesting that she picked Georgia, Stacey Abrams, as over what's going on in Florida, which looks like, Michelle, as you pointed out, a little bit more successful. So, look, you've covered these guys. You know the Kardashians. You hang out with them. You know Kanye. And even if you don't, for the sake of our audience, you know him better than I do. Kanye gets political, then Kanye doesn't get political. It's funny times.
Let me explain what happened, and I think it'll give you a little bit better perspective. Kanye and Candace Owen, who started Blexit, which is the black exit from the Democratic Party, have been hanging out. Kanye was the first one who reached out to her, and she's a very outspoken black woman and a very outspoken conservative black woman, and people are labeling her far right. She's not. She's actually just a conservative young black woman, and they had a friendship, and I don't know if the friendship is still going because his tweet was not directed at Donald Trump. His tweet was not directed at MAGA. It was directed at Candace Owen. It was all over a logo that Candace, that Candace alluded that Kanye West made for Blexit. But in fact, Kanye came out on Twitter and said, I've been used. I want nothing to do with Blexit. I'm leaving politics and concentrating on just being creative right now. That was exactly what he said. Had nothing to do with the president, had nothing to do with MAGA, had everything to do with Candace Owen. Now, she posted a blog follow-up. She posted a tweet the other, I think it was this morning or late last night, and I remember seeing, she's like, I feel like I have to clear my name. I haven't really gotten to that this morning, but I will, and I'll probably do a story on it.
All right, Michelle Polino, every time I see the superhero movies, you're our superhero.
How about that Venom?
How about that Venom?
Come on now. Venom, Halloween, and A Star is Born literally made October one of the best Octobers in recent years as far as the box office.
Michelle, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you guys.
Have a great day, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, you too. All right, bye.
Bye-bye. All right, my apologies. Let's get to Dan in Meridian with Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Dan.
Good morning, Kevin. How are you?
I know you're fired up, so please go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to challenge you a little bit. We let Liberty Linda, or whatever her name was, throw some incorrect history out there without being challenged by you. To say that slavery is being miscategorized and misinterpreted throughout history as just a bunch of loving family types who employed people who were brought here against their will from Africa is incorrect, and it's intellectually dishonest. And I expect more from you, Kevin. I'm about the most conservative, libertarian type you'll ever meet. I've been to many of your rallies, many of the events you've hosted, but I expect you to be intellectually honest and challenge callers when they make statements like that.
Sometimes I like to hear what people say, Dan, and get your reaction. But you're right. You're right. I was wrong on that.
I mean, for her to say that is about the biggest misinterpretation and racist revision of history that I've ever heard in my life.
Well.
Harriet Tubman did not lead the Underground Railroad because she was employed by a loving plantation owner. She was born into slavery, she escaped slavery, and she led 13 missions to help other slaves escape. Slavery is real, and it's a black mark on our history, and it was a disgusting chapter for Americans, and we should recognize it as such and not run from it, not hide from it, and not use it as a political torch the way that Liberty Linda just did.
Duly noted.
I appreciate your time, Kevin. I do expect intellectual honesty when I listen to your show. It's one thing I do respect about you. I wish you would have stood up at that point.
And I was wrong, Dan, and I'm big enough to admit that.
Thank you, Kevin. Have a good day.
Thank you. You know, and again, to Dan's point, sometimes we let people go, and if Liberty Linda wants to respond to Dan and back and forth, that's why we have the conversation, to provoke thought. Pro-Life joins us now on KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Pro-Life.
Yeah, the Ambrose School is...
Do you want to comment on what Liberty Linda said and what Dan said?
Well, I was listening. I don't believe that the slaves were brought here by the King of England and people like that. They were brought here for an economic reason, and it was wrong. England,
right.
So that's my comment.
Well, that's reassuring.
Yeah. I mean, I got my head screwed on right. But anyway, the Ambrose School is maybe one of the best schools in Idaho, maybe the best, I don't know. But and evidence of that is the Christianity there. I heard them singing, and they were just great. And I've met the children from there, talked to them, and I can tell that they have more faith in Jesus Christ, and that's why that school thrives. The reason that socialism is so evil is because it steals from Christianity the functions that belong to Christianity: health, education, welfare, recreation, medicine, and retirement. All of those things belong in the faith realm. And when they're transferred to government, the whole society suffers. We become atheistic,
agnostic,
unbelieving, agnostic, yeah, right. And then we don't take care of each other. We lose our individual responsibility. We transfer it to government. And we cannot have any more socialism. We've got enough. Proposition 2 is socialism. I think that we just need to vote for non-socialists, but where can you find them? You need to run yourself, Kevin, and be a non-socialist.
Well, I'd get your endorsement if I ran.
Sure. If you took a total
if I took the pro-life oath?
Yep, if you took the pro-life oath, you'd get my support.
Speaking of the pro-life vote, I'll see you at Eagle Christian Church coming up November 30th for the Idaho Chooses Life rally once again.
Right, and I'm going to be there on Sunday, rain or snow.
Oh, well, that's right, our rally for the right on Sunday at 1 o'clock in the State House. Thank you, Pro-Life.
All right, God bless you.
God bless you. Kevin Miller in the morning, by the way, if you want to attend our rally, actually, we're just going to be there. It's the Red Tsunami Rally happening all over the West Coast. That'll be this Sunday at the State House at 1. Tom Munz will be there. Greg Pruitt will be there. Representative Zito will be there. I'll be there, and we're looking forward to seeing you there. More information on KIDOTalkRadio.com. Coming up, more from the Ambrose School, more of your phone calls. You're listening to Kevin Miller on KIDO Talk Radio. We're having such a good time here with our friend Davies Owens from Ambrose. We might have him join us every morning at 5 a.m. Davies, thank you for having us. We've got a very special guest. Talk a little. We got the mics on here. I can't hear him. Are Are we good to go?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's good to be here, Kevin.
There we go. Now we have the mics on.
Yeah, it's been a very full morning. You said you wanted to be in the middle of it all. We've arranged that. So, and Governor here and singing choirs and
sure,
great conversation. So,
and we have a distinguished guest here. He's ready to go.
Yeah. I want to introduce Eric to you. Eric is one of our seniors. Welcome, Eric.
Hello,
Eric. A little close to the mic.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's it been like for you to be here and to be getting ready to graduate from the Ambrose School?
It's been a long journey. I've been here since first grade, and I've had a lot of interesting experiences. Like, you know, we'd read a lot of different books. Like, one of the most memorable is, of course, in fifth grade, we read some of the Chronicles of Narnia. We read The Lord of the Rings, and those are phenomenal books that have phenomenal storytelling and great elements and thematic or themes. And just reading them, actually trying to dissect the book, wondering what the author's intent is.
In fifth grade.
In fifth grade, yep.
Yeah, that's what our fifth grade play is a Shakespeare play, and I remember years ago when I first came out to visit, somebody said, "Oh, they're doing a Shakespeare play," and I thought, well, I'll just be polite and smile and sit here. And I got there and I thought, I've been to Stratford-upon-Avon. You guys do a pretty darn good job bringing Shakespeare to life. So yeah, like I said earlier, kids can do way more than I think we often expect. So,
sure.
And Eric's a great example.
Yeah. So, in fifth grade, when we actually sat down on table, and this was the first time that we sat around a table and we just started discussing, which was really interesting because some of us would, we would go to the source and we'd bring up a quote, sometimes because we had to, because it was our homework to,
right.
But other times we just bring it up because we wanted to support our argument and everything. And so we discussed from certain elements about the book of whether someone should have done a decision or not, whether or not that was a good moral idea to do it. And so in 8th grade, when we came to 8th grade, there was a question when we read Beowulf, should Beowulf have killed the dragon? And we wrote a whole essay on it, and we had to present it in front of the whole class and everything, and I thought that was really interesting because it helped a lot of us know how to speak in front of people and how to argue well. And so throughout this whole experience...
Not argue good, argue well.
Argue well, yeah.
I noticed that, yeah. Starting to get a little
Grammar
complex.
thing kicks in here.
I'm starting to get a little complex here, David.
Yeah, we can just say done good in the South, nobody cares. It's different out here.
It is. Yeah. Where would you like to go after here, sir?
One of my thoughts is just staying home and going more towards NNU, Northwest Nazarene University, since it is near home, and I'd like to stay home just to make some money, and also because it's, just staying home and making money is, I feel like it would be good for my young life.
Yeah, capitalist.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Quite the capitalist.
Any thoughts on a type of study, Eric? You're going to do after?
I might go into pre-med because, I'm just really interested with the human body and wondering about, how our skin is, what our skin is made out of, that we have muscles and knowing what muscles do what and everything, and learning about the heart. And I am interested in that, and also because I'm also really interested in the immunosciences, just because learning about the immune system, how it works. Because, your back might be hurting, and you might be coughing, and you might have some...
How old are you? 35?
No, I'm 17.
Oh, my goodness.
By the way, this is what a Shakespeare education does to you. So
it's amazing.
Yeah, we have plenty of guys that head into the liberal arts, but I love that, Eric, that you were passionate about sciences.
Yeah. There's a lot of our classes looking into going towards something that not only that they love, but also that they can know well. And that I really enjoy Ambrose, mainly because here we get to not only have discourse around the table, but also because it's a community. We actually talk to each other. We have a house system where us 12th graders who sometimes think we're too cool for the school and we don't care anymore. Sometimes we act like that, but at other times some of us are 7th grade mentors, and so we go to 7th graders and we talk to them and we kind of try to bring them into the upper school and trying to welcome them to this new environment.
So, Kevin, this is kind of the secret sauce, I think, of your Ambrose House program. People think, again, Harry Potter, we get accused of that all the time, but the idea is that...
I've never called this school Harry Potter.
I appreciate that, yeah. They copied us. The reality is 7th, 8th grade is probably one of the more challenging seasons in life. We often, in our school wisdom, send kids off to middle schools, and I think, what if we could put them all together? So our 7th through 12th grade are all in the same building. Guys like Eric get to mentor younger kids. So we have 6 houses. They compete in athletics, they do community service, and they get to encourage each other. So.
Well, Eric, we appreciate it. David, thank you very much. Traffic and weather together.
Eric Gabbard.
And I hope Keith Nordo is listening. His wife says hello. Hello, Keith. Let's go to Liberal Steve, KIDO Talk Radio. Good morning, Liberal Steve.
Ambrose, the meaning is Greek and Latin for the immortal or live forever. Paulette Jordan, voters don't text and drive or even when they ride. So come on over to our side and stay alive.
Liberal Steve, thank you.
You're more than welcome. Great show today.
Thank you. Did I miss Dave in Boise, Ray, or do we still have him? Dave, good morning. Sorry about that. I missed you. You're on KIDO Talk Radio.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for going to Ambrose today. That's fun to hear him. We've got to keep the Blaine Amendment in our targets, especially with the elections coming up here. A major turnover at the State House with the governor leaving and a new one coming. The Blaine Amendment has to be repealed if we're going to see any progress in our education system in Idaho. The Blaine Amendment was erroneously added to state constitutions all over the country almost 100 years ago and has stymied progress like the kind like you're seeing there at Ambrose, has stymied that kind of progress and that kind of development all across the country, so that we've got an education system that does not work for millions and millions and vast majority of Americans. Idaho needs to get rid of the Blaine Amendment from its constitution, and I'd like to see Butch Otter in his retirement spearhead that effort. What do you think?
Dave in Boise, he's looking for work. We so appreciate listening. I'm out of time, but thank you, sir, and thank you for the information on the Blaine Amendment.
Thanks.
God bless. Keep the faith, Ray. My outstanding job. Have a great day, everyone. Glenn Beck's next.